Get the parents fattened up and conditioned, and you know, nature takes care of the rest. The fish just really smash it. His kids basically spawned these little fellas. We're gonna watch them grow, get them all plump and chunky, and hopefully they will give us a successful spawn of eggs in the near future. These guys, however, are growing almost just as fast, and there's like a good 80 plus in here. And I swear half my fish room at the moment is just full of baby Corydoras. Alrighty guys, we just come back from the fish shop yet again. What do I go and do? Buy myself more new fish. Now you can't see these guys in the bag very well, but these are what we call the Adolphi Corydoras, and I've wanted these guys for a very, very long time, like most fish in this fish room. But yes, I've wanted these for quite a while. The last time I saw them come into my local fish shop, they were way more expensive than what I just paid for these guys, and they were tiny, and they just kind of weren't worth it in my opinion, so I didn't buy them. It's been quite some time since I've seen them come back into the fish shop, and here they are today, so I've gone in and got myself 6. So we're just going to acclimate these guys now, and we'll get back to it. So we just dropped some baby brine shrimp in for this tank. As you can see, these guys are just getting absolutely massive. So they're growing kind of quickly. It's rainbow fish babies, so they don't grow kind of quickly, but they kind of grow kind of quickly. So these guys, there's a lot more of these guys than the ones that I've got ready to go, like pretty much like sell at the moment. So these are like my second and third batch. I sort of just blended the two together because they sort of were the same, like a week apart from each other. Smaller ones in here, they're like the third batch, and the bigger ones are sort of like the second batch. So there's not too much size difference, but there's a lot of them. So on the baby brine shrimp, I crush up some like flake into like real small like powder almost, and feed them that as well, so they actually get a bit of dry food as well as the baby brine shrimp. And if you can see, we've actually got a little baby German blue ram in here as well. So I'm pretty sure it looks like it's going to be a female, because I can sort of see the pinky sort of belly coming through on her, and you can sort of see like the spangling sort of parts, I call it, like the blue, see if I can zoom in a bit more here, the blue sort of parts along the black, if that makes sense. You can sort of see that coming on through her, so I'm pretty confident it's another female, which I'm a bit disappointed about because it is the only baby ram that I've got that's at this size. So I've got one that I've actually grown all the way up to full adult, but it's also a female, so I was really hoping that this one was going to be a male, grow him all the way up, and get them to spawn, but unfortunately it looks like another female, so might have to do some hunting around for a local bred male German blue ram or something like that in the near future, because I really, really want to breed rams. I think they're an absolutely amazing fish. But back to the actual main party. We've also got our longfin panda cories chowing down. So you want to make sure, again, they get lots of food. So again, his tank is going to be very outcompeted for food very quickly. So they've already eaten all the brine shrimp, and they're already looking at me like, you're going to feed us more? So I actually dropped some pellets in, and that's mainly just for the cories to make sure they get enough food. This isn't my most ideal setup, but I've sort of run out of space, and when you see a fish in a fish store that you really, really like and you really want to breed and you want to add it to your collection, unfortunately, so many times I've gone, nah, I don't have the space, I'll get it next time. And the next time is no next time. So I've learnt, if you really want the fish and you really want to have them in your tank or in your fish room, bite the bullet, get them if they look good and they're at a decent price right there and then, because sometimes the next time they come in, they might be double the price and half the size. So that's one thing I've learnt in the fish hobby. Sort of spontaneous biting, but when you've got a fish room, you've sort of got multiple options. So I wouldn't recommend it to someone that's just got one tank. That's why I recommend people get a fish room. Now, down in this tank, we've got really, really, really small baby fish that I can hardly even get the camera to focus on. What I can focus on is these little white things. These little white things are longfin albino cory babies. So I think I've got about 25, 30 of these guys that came out of this batch as well. And it just so happened at the same time, I had Elmo's legacy live on. So some of you guys know who Elmo is, or Elmo was, I should say. And his kids basically spawned these little fellas. So they're really, really small. They're only maybe about just on a week old, I think. They're slowly eating some baby brine shrimp. They were on like Hikari First Bites powder for first, good couple of days at least first. But the cories are getting quite big in size, so they're just chowing down on all the brine shrimp that hits the floor, and the angels are starting to pick up on that because they're pecking away at the leftovers as well. So more baby fish in the fish room. If you guys are liking this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. It means a lot to me. But we'll keep going on and show you guys some more baby fish. And I swear half my fish room at the moment is just full of baby Corydoras. These are baby Sturbe Corys. So there's I took about 25, 30 out of here and put them into a bigger tank because it sort of controls how fast they're going to grow. So the 25, 30 go into a bigger tank. They're going to get more food. It's not going to be as competing as much, so I should say. So they're probably going to grow faster. That's the theory. These guys, however, are growing almost just as fast, and there's like a good 80 plus in here. So this is not all of them. There's more. They're like up the back. As you can see, there is a lot in here. So I'm really, really excited because I went quite crazy pulling eggs. Couldn't stop. These are multiple spawns, so this is not just one batch of Corys. This is like 3 or 4 batches, but they're all growing up sort of together. See what I mean about half my fish rooms, just like baby Corys. So these are the longfin albino Corys, and these guys are growing up so fast. They are, I've only got about maybe 16 or 18 at this time, and on top of that we've also got quite a decent spawn of the longfin albino bristlenose. So this is the first time I've done the longfin version, and they just chowing down on some algae wafers. The Corys just had some pellets and stuff dropped in. I think you can see one still there. But yeah, you can see their fins starting to get quite long, which is a really cool thing. So we're just going to let these guys grow up and get bigger and bigger, and watch their fins just get longer and longer. Same with the longfin albino bristlenose. So I think there's about 30 of them in this tank, and I think there's about 16, 18 longfin albino Corys. So just tank of longfin babies, but it is a really, really exciting tank to be watching grow up, and we'll move on and keep showing you guys more. So we're just going to give this herd of fish a quick feed while we're at it, and basically this is the baby Goyder River rainbows. Put some food in there. One of my more favorite flakes, this is the Dimax flake. The fish just really smash it, and yeah, I put a little bit in there because down below, and this is why I put a bit of food in here, you guys will see what is going on down the bottom of this tank. There is a lot of bristlenose in here, and there is a lot of little baby Sturbe Corydoras. You can see them up the back there. They're looking nice. So they're growing out really, really well. And so are these guys. These guys are growing out really, really quickly actually. And like I said, there's a lot in here. I think I've got about 70 or 80 baby bristlenose in here. We've got our gold dust geophagus settling well, starting to get some size on them. And we've also got up here in the top half where they all go, we've got baby Goyder River rainbows. So these guys, again, I know I've talked about them a lot on the channel, but I'm really, really excited about these guys because they're a fish that I haven't taken to a fish shop before, and I've watched these guys grow for the last 3 or 4 months, and it's been quite a journey because these guys have taken quite some time to get to this size. So they grow really, really fast after they start eating baby brine shrimp, but the first couple of weeks they're so small that they can't even eat baby brine shrimp. So I've basically watched these fish be like a speck, basically, all the way, growing them up, taking care of them all the way to get to this point, and I'm quite impressed with them. I'm almost at the point where I don't want to sell them because some of them are looking quite nice. I didn't want to sell them too small. I just wanted to hold on to them a little bit longer, just to make sure that they've got that nice color coming through on them. You know, the nicer size, you can see that they're nice. They're going to be a nice red fish. You guys have seen it in the other videos, the full adult Goyder River rainbows. I might show them up on the screen just here. But I really, really like this rainbow fish. It is one of my more favorite rainbows. The red is just really hard to beat with that nice impressive black line straight down the middle. And just rainbow fish in general, I think a lot more people are getting into them because they are a patience fish. Usually when you buy them, they're looking like this. And you know, what you've just seen on the screen, that takes some time for a rainbow. And I've said it in many other videos as well. You know, when the lights first come on a rainbow fish tank, that's when you should be in there looking at your rainbows because their color will just look absolutely amazing. You know, the other morning I came in and I was lucky enough to sort of wake up, come in, and the lights had come on, and I saw my turquoise rainbows. They looked absolutely amazing. I'll give you guys a quick little shot of it here because I did film them, but they looked absolutely stunning, and they're not even fully grown yet. So these guys, again, really, really keen to take them to the shop and hopefully people will buy them, and yeah, we'll get this tank empty, and then we'll move like all the other baby Goyder River rainbows that I've got in the other tank that I showed you guys. We'll move them into here and watch hundreds more grow up. So again, spend a little bit of time on this tank, but it is one of my more proudest tanks because I am very happy that I'm finally getting to take these beautiful rainbow fish babies into the shop. Now I've been talking about the rainbow fish too much. The food has really gotten these cories out and about. Same with the bristlenose. So a lot of people know that like bristlenose and most plecos actually quite like a fair bit of protein in their diet. They will eat the algae, and it is good to give them like zucchini and stuff like that, but they do like a little bit of protein in their diet as well. Most of them do just eat protein. So these guys will eat algae off the glass. They're not going to eat all types of algae, but again, really cool little fish. Super easy to breed actually. Really cool. You know, nice fresh clean water. Get the parents fattened up and conditioned, and you know, nature takes care of the rest. So they're really easy fish to breed, and pretty much every fish store is going to definitely want some bristlenose because they sell like hotcakes in most fish shops. So very excited to just keep growing these guys up and then take them into the shop. Come back to the cories because there's more and more out and about now. So I've said there's about 25, 30 in here, and they're not quite ready to take into the shop just yet. I just want them to be a little bit bigger. They are still small, and you probably could take them into the shop at this size, but I just want to make sure that they're a nice size so that when they go into the shop, they're not stressed out too much. And it's not really about being stressed out, it's more just, I want to make sure that when they go to someone else's home, they're like pretty ready to go. Like they're not gonna, you know, fade away if someone forgets to feed them, you know, a couple of days in a row. So I want to give them at that nicer size where they can take a bit of a beating, because unfortunately a lot of people that buy cories they just don't put enough food in the tank for people, like for the cories. And I feel like a lot of people that have trouble with cories is typically because they just don't get enough food, and cories will just slowly just get thinner and thinner until they just waste away. And so many times I've seen it happen, and it's just, you got to make sure you get food into cories. They really like to eat, and especially if you want to breed most Corydoras species, you really want to get them plump. You really just want to throw some food in there. Obviously make sure your water quality is still good, but you really do want to give them some good amount of food. So baby Sturbe cories, super keen to eventually get these guys into the shop, but probably still, I don't know how many more weeks they are because I've never taken these guys into the shop before. So this is the first time I've bred Sturbe cories. So not an expert at breeding, that's for sure. Just showing you guys the progress, because a lot of these fish that I'm showing you guys in the fish room, it's the first time I've bred them. So I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just showing you guys my progress and hopefully inspiring you guys to get a fish room or just breed some fish of your own. These guys are acclimated and been put into their new tank. Now they are looking absolutely stunning. Look how cute they are. I really enjoy the color on the Adolphi cories, that black line along the top. Got that nice sort of panda albino sort of white going on with them. Then you've got the orange on the top of their head with like the black bandit sort of stripe down the side of their eyes. Really cool looking cory. They're not the cheapest cory on the market, that's for sure. So your albinos, your bronze and your peppards, they're definitely more sort of cheaper. But these ones aren't the most expensive, but they're sort of in the mid sort of spending area, I guess. But I really enjoy them. And sort of the price is going to depend where you're from as well. So where I'm from, they're like not super expensive, but they're not super cheap either. But you know, maybe where you're from, these guys are like just as cheap as bronze. So really depends where you're from. But just thought I'd show you guys my new fish, because we do plan on breeding these guys. We're gonna watch them grow, get them all plump and chunky, and hopefully they will give us a successful spawn of eggs in the near future. So bit of an update, we've got new fish in the fish room. It's more Corydoras because I absolutely love Corydoras, as you guys probably have found out already. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up button. It really means a lot and helps the video go, you know, into the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed, you know, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds of your time, and there'll be plenty more fish room videos in the future.